Hi, good evening. My name is Melvin Bailey, Executive Director of Community Melvin Empowerment Project. Today we have another exciting show. We're going to talk to you about awareness.
Yes, and I'm Chris Anthony with Community Male Empowerment Project as well, and we're really excited to tell you about some of the great things that you didn't know what the city of Chicago was going to do.
Exactly. And one of the keys to being aware is to being informed. And that's our job, is to make our audience aware of what's going on in the city of Chicago and why is it that we have so much unemployment going around in our community when we have so much construction going on. And then we want to hit you with some facts. And we're going to start the show right away. Please hit the button. Please hit the button. As you can see, we're very live. Now look at this. Now it says, mapping the 44 high-rise under construction in Chicago right now. And the first one is the Vista. I'm going to point it out for you. We got Vista Tower. And Vista Tower, we just Googled it. Vista Tower is coming out to $1 billion project. $1 billion with the B. And we want to know, why is it that you do not have minority participation on these sites when you have a site, and there's the picture of it. That's how the ending is going to look. They said the construction will be finished in about 2020. So in 2020, we should be having young men and women working these jobs. And then we most definitely can go to all the rest of them. But what we're going to do, we're going to talk about the Vista for right now. But then again, I want to hit you guys with this. Please hit the overhead. Now, here we go. We're going to talk about the unemployment rate for African Americans. We're going to talk about nationally, 55% of African American males live below poverty level, which is 44% higher than the national average. Males in Chicago, 55% of African American males are not in the labor force. And we want to know why. So when we talk about 55% of African Americans in the city of Chicago is not working, so you wonder why we got so much crime going on in our community.
Yeah, so let's talk about the Vista Tower project. It's 93 stories. It's going to encompass about $1 billion in total expenses. I can just only wonder how many trades or crafts can you fit within that percentage of $1 billion into certain demographics or communities. There has to be something now where you're alleviating or budgeting for different groups. And Melvin, let me ask you a quick question here. Some of our viewers may not understand, but what is the real process when it comes to securing work like this if you're a contractor?
Well, when projects like this in the city of Chicago, a lot of them be already ready-made. They already picked a general contractor. They already picked an architect, because that's a good old boys network. And then I just heard you say it about the trades. You have 32 trades when it comes to a big site like this. And 32 trades, and all of the trades need a laborer.
Okay.
All of them. So we can
start. Just one laborer?
Yeah, we can start now.
Or more than just one.
More than one laborer.
Okay, all right, I'm assuming, right.
Right, but we can start just there with the labor portion of it. Then we go into the skilled worker. Now, once you have a labor that's partnered up with a skilled tradesman, they can train them.
I see. Okay.
They can train them.
And so how many total trades come across buildings of this nature?
Man, 32.
32 different trades.
32. So you do the math.
So there's a ton of activities and a ton of involvement that individuals could be a part of. It really goes to say there is something that the city can do.
Right. So what we're doing, and by us raise awareness, we are making sure that we're making the community aware, because we're down, and I'm gonna show you some more documents real shortly here, how we are downtown making sure, as you can see, this is a live show. Okay, we have a caller. And please call in, chime in, because we love to hear your input. Go ahead, caller, you're on there. Can you please state your name and your concern, please?
Yes, gentlemen, my name is Ray. You guys are 100% right, but you know what gets me? They have 2 projects going on now downtown,
Yep.
$1 million, and there's not one Hispanic, not one African American owned construction company on those.
That's right.
That's why we don't have jobs. Not because they're not there. We don't get them because we don't have the people that we put in when we go vote every 4 years. Aldermen, congressmen.
I like it.
You know.
I like it.
Put all those people in, and guess what happens? Nothing.
Right.
So in 10 years, you guys be out there again talking about our people can't get jobs, and guess why? Because our own people are holding us back.
Thank you. Thank you for the
Ray,
call.
thank you so much for the call.
And you're most definitely right. You're most definitely right. The people that we're putting in office, now you think about this project. This project had to get approved by City Council. And why is it that City Council didn't come out and say, hold on, how many African Americans, how many minority participation is going to be on this site? Contractors, subcontractors are going to be employed on the site before we sign off on it. Even though it's a private contractor or a private developer, but you own city land.
I see. So who missed the boat here? Because somebody missed something with all the shooting and all of the stuff going on. I mean, how do you just overlook this amount of money? Now, that was one building we brought up. Okay, we're talking about 44 different high-rises. This was $1 billion. Imagine the city of Chicago. They're focusing on just $1 billion from one building, so you can only imagine what the magnitude is really going to be about once you tap into all 44. And this is just within a certain era or a time frame.
Exactly.
So what was going on beforehand?
Right.
And now that leads us to what's going to go on in the future. Caller, we have another caller coming in. 312-738-1060. We love to take your questions, your comments.
Please.
The community, you definitely need to say something.
Go ahead. You state your name, call, and your concern.
Thanks for taking my call. Yeah, I want to ask a question. Now, are these big high-rise construction programs that are going on sites? And these are the ones with the big cranes on them.
Yes.
These cranes usually have different colors. Are they significant? The colors of the cranes. I mean, they indicate that they're like Chinese developers or some other nationality.
You're right, and it is the color code is to identify from the Good Old Boy Network which crane company has the contract, because what they're doing with the Good Old Boy Network, because they call the supplier. They call the network, and they call the crane, the people who has the crane, oh man, you doing this one. You can't do that one, but do the other one. So yeah, you're hitting the nail right on the head.
That brings a good point back to the problem of saying, well, why isn't it, in Chicago that there's 52% of African-American males are not in the labor force? I mean, Melvin said that earlier. I just want to reiterate that stat because it kind of correlates to what our last caller was talking about, is that there's a gap. There's something missing here. If you don't have a transition or a plan that now you can diversify into being equally distributing things, then you're not going to get change. You're going to get the same thing. It's the definition of insanity. Am I right?
Right. You're most definitely right. So what we have to do, viewers, we have to, I like our aldermen. I like them. But guess what? If you're not doing the job, what you want me to say? You have to be replaced. I really like them, but if you're not doing the job, because the summer's coming up, and and I know, viewers, these kids, for the lack of opportunity, for the lack of employment and education, the community breathes crime. If you're not employing these young men and women, it's breathing crime.
They're going to do some type of activity. Either it's going to be positive, or you hope that you can avoid to do the negative, because at some point, what else do they have to look at? You see, we have to provide more, and that's where I think, getting to see individuals on these sites, getting to see different TV shows that are real estate related, where now you can see, these type of demographics and changes, really kind of broadens the horizon and really changes the mindset. Because as we all know, we have to change the mindset. This is a fundamental thing. We have to look at resetting how we look and approach things, or else this is going to be a continuous vicious cycle. And we got to stop.
And what we need to start doing is giving our elected officials a report card. Plain and simple. We need to give them a report card.
Well, I mean, everybody should. Everybody should go down and have a conversation with their local aldermen or their committeemen. You're
getting the F.
And it is what it is. You have to call it what it is, because at some point your vote matters. I mean, that's the reason why they send the different dollars in the different areas. When you vote, that's how they track and they know. So I say it to say is that if you feel like, hey, maybe things can be doing better, we want to encourage you to have a conversation, have a dialogue, just like we're doing here with your local, official. You just need to. It's important.
And I would love to see you down at next city council meeting, because, I'm down at city council, like just previously I was down there last Wednesday. They had a ton of, I talked to each alderman, and I shared with the African-American aldermen, particularly South and West Side aldermen, and let them know you cannot let the mayor take part of the TIF, the tax fund, that surplus money that was left over, the $17 million. He wanted to plant trees. We don't need any more trees. We need that money in the community to create some jobs and some opportunities. So each alderman voted on it. Thank God they did. They voted it down to say, hey, Mayor, we need that money in our community for job opportunities. And for that, they did okay. Maybe that was the push, the nudge them, and to let them know that's something we do not, we don't need that. So I'm glad that I did nudge them in that area.
And it makes sense. You have to be proactive. I mean, we could take a look at example of today. You sometimes have to get yourself involved if you truly care about something. Like play your part, stay in your lane. If you can contribute or do something, do it. Chance the Rapper, what did he do? He donated $1 million today.
Great, man, bless your heart, Trent.
Bless his heart.
Man, hey.
The school system needs you, okay?
Man.
My mom was a public school teacher. We all know someone who actually has been a part of it or has worked for it and who has developed from it. And they needed you. And for him to step out and try to reach out to our local government, hold on, to the governor, and still couldn't get a deal, but say, hey, you know what? I'm going to come out of pocket and make this work. God bless you for that, man.
Hey, we love you. Now, hold on. But look what he just did. He made all them other millionaires that's in the city of Chicago look foolish.
What have they done?
Nothing.
What have they done?
Nothing.
You gotta do something. Stand up.
Man, you got millionaires in our community. African Americans now. Don't get it twisted. There's a lot of African American millionaires in the city of Chicago looking at riding by in they expensive cars. I'm about look at them.
Calling them Chi-Town's finest.
Yeah. Look at them.
Come on.
Look at them. I ain't like them. Well, who are you?
Yeah.
If you're not trying to help your people.
Yeah.
Who are you? Mm-hmm. Come on now, and hey, Chance, and we really love what you did, man. God bless you, man. Man, please do more, man. Our heart goes out to you, man. Oh, I'm gonna try to reach out to him. I know he's very busy, but I'll most definitely try to reach out to him. And then that goes to all them rappers that's coming in the community. You guys got to get back, man. Y'all just can't come in our neighborhood, come through the community and do a show and then leave without even saying thank you or coming on the show saying, man, we with you. But again, that's why we community development and awareness. We want to make our neighborhood, make our viewers aware.
And Chicago, we are on the national block.
Man,
we're everywhere. People know about Chicago, and they have an opinion one way or the other. An opinion one way or the other. So that's why I say, well, let's stand up and let's do it right.
Bad or good, and mainly it's bad.
Well, I'm always going to say my glass is half full, okay? That's what I'm going to look at because I know that there's going to be some change.
Right, yeah.
I know there's going to be some change.
Because we're going to make it.
We're going to make it happen.
We're going to make the change.
You see that community development and awareness?
Yeah, we're going to make the change. We're going to make the change. And put the overhead on this right here, this document. Now, look. And like I say, that's why we got to go down to the city council. As you can see, this meeting of the committee on zoning, landmark, and buildings. So just let you, man, I'll be down. I want you guys to come down there and make your voices heard, talk to your elected officials, because these guys are voting on these projects that's coming in your area, in your ward. They voting on them, And 9 times out of 10, they real estate development projects. I wish I wish I can show it to you and you guys really can see that it's kind of blurry, but the question bear, who's doing these jobs in our neighborhood? And as you can see, this is what they sign off on. Here's the roll call. It's for new businesses. City of Chicago, the planning and development zoning. They vote on this. And I want us to be aware that, man, if you guys are voting on anything in our community, please go to the next one. Okay. Oh, man, I'm glad Chris pulled that up. Please go to the next one because, man, we have to be informed. It don't make any sense, man, that there's another one. Here's another project Chris just pulled up. Look at that.
So this is the Grant Park. What they're going to do is they're going to actually do a development called Crescent Heights. It's going to be a 76-story, obviously rental for apartments, and this is right by the lake. This will be finished in 2019.
76 stories.
What else do we have here? We have
look at that. Keep going.
You have stuff around State Street. You can look right here on the map, and now you can physically see that majority of these developments are in the downtown area, and it's there. There's opportunities that are there.
Man, I'm so upset.
There are opportunities that are there.
I promise you,
there's
man.
no excuse. There's always something we can do.
Yes, man, I'm so upset.
Because billions are being traded, billions are being circulated.
Billions. Just like the O'Hara and the Midway. They said 0.1% of minority participation on them sites. And both of them sites was $1 billion apiece. Yeah. O'Hara and Midway. How if we falling asleep at the wheel? Come on, elected officials. Hey, but one thing we have to do, listeners, I promise you, man, if they not for us, they're against us.
Another stat. In Chicago, the African-American male unemployment rate is 21% more than triple the national average. That's pretty high. That's high.
Say that one more time.
That's triple the national average. So I said Chicago. In Chicago, the African-American male unemployment rate is at 21%.
Do y'all hear that, listeners? The male, African-American male is higher than the national. Come on, man. Man, we all should be in an uproar. And that's why we're doing this show, to get more supporters so we all can go down with one voice, one agenda to say, man, enough is enough. Man, y'all done got rich. It's time for you guys to go.
So with any problem, we try to create solutions, right? Solutions to this is, well, what can you do to get involved?
Yes.
You got to register, right? You got to go on. You have to pick up a trade. You have to find a mentor. You have to be a part of a group that's actually being involved with, whatever it is that you feel comfortable doing.
Right.
We can point you in tune with individuals. If you want to come to our website, www.cmepprojects.org, you can check us out, see how we are. But I would just say talk with, a local non-for-profit. Talk with, your local, alderman, whoever, just to figure out what projects are going on, because the more you know, the more that you can do.
Right. Hey, and I tell people all the time, if Donald Trump want to come in and help African Americans with jobs and changing lives, why we should ever vote Democrat again? Is the reality of it. If this man coming in, putting food on your table, finding a way that you can eat, like I say, we're not Democrat or Republicans. We broke. So if this man is willing to come in and bring his economic team to the city of Chicago and say, where can I help? Man, we need to just say, hey, man, we believe in you because you helped us. You helped these kids get a trade. You helped these kids get back in school. You helped these kids find gainful employment. You helped us reduce the crime rate in the city of Chicago. Come on now. This man is in the White House talking about the city of Chicago, and we got mayors and aldermen right now. I ain't saying a word.
Well, I mean, the main key here, Melvin, is that we try to just, tell you, hey, somebody told you. Somebody, let you know what was going on. Somebody kind of brought it to your attention. You can't say you didn't know. You can't say you were ignorant. No. I mean, you watch this program. If you've been following us the past few weeks, you know that we're definitely about making an impact, not just making, a little drop in the bucket. We want to make an impact. We have a caller calling in.
Please call us. State your name and your concern, please.
Yeah, I had a quick question.
Sure.
You said earlier that these cranes that are all color-coded and they determine who's providing the supplies. Well, if Donald Trump was to bring in his economic team and open up steel mills in this area, instead of buying all that steel from the Chinese, they could build that steel here, put people to work, make steel to build, construct these buildings.
That's
A
true.
lot of these buildings today are made of steel.
That's true.
Exactly.
That's true.
You know what I mean?
And you're right. And what we should do is that's a different story. I was going to talk about Africa, but that's a different story. But you're right. If we do it right here in the United States, where we can, where we can provide jobs in our community, you're right, caller. Hey, man, I agree with you 100%, man, because this is what we need. Actually, we need a new day. Just like you just said, caller, we need some changes.
We need a new day.
We need a new day.
Yeah.
Man. Because, look, 44 construction sites, 44 high-rises going up.
About how many people do you think are associated with just those 44 projects?
Oh,
I'm just saying, just think
God.
about how many people are associated.
Come on now. 44
And how many years are we talking about that will have consistent
Yes.
employment, will create stability, peace of mind, right? And just a little bit of at least comfort and satisfaction to know that you can have something if you continue to work hard, and now you can elevate and grow. Because you're going to find a way to find something to the next level once you get to the first one.
And see, that's where we come in at, because we're going to be doing the mentoring. And that's what we're going down, and that's what we're working on now, a press conference down at City Hall, to let the city know that we're tired of what's going on in our community. And I'm going to let you guys know when, the date, the time, and the place, where we're going to be at, because we need to hold a press conference down at City Hall with the mayor and our elected officials, let them know, man, we're tired of the same old that's going on in our community. We're coming up to another hot summer. Just if my numbers correct me, the shooting, just the first 2 months of the shooting, you had over 100 people shot, something like that. It was just some crazy, outrageous number that, just mind-blowing. So many people getting shot.
And then you hear a news quote that says Chicago went 6 days without a homicide. That's just terrible. I get it. I'm glad that there was peace for that long, but we should have more peace than that. This is just ridiculous. We need to just not say, okay, hey, we broke the record from 5 to 6 days. You really have to say, hey, what really can we do to change this thing up? Because it's not working. Because
a lot of times we become numb. We just numb to the killing. So much killing, we just be numb. So much shooting going on. Here we go. We be like, oh. Well, another shooting, huh? Yeah. And then, the first thing we say, what? Man, that's sad. But we become numb. We become numb to the senseless violence in our community. So that's why we're going to come up with some creative thinking. We're going to come up with a creative way to make sure our voices getting heard down in the city of Chicago. We want to make sure that the powers that be hear us. Mm-hmm. And like these sites here, we can help participate. We can help facilitate these jobs with the workforce, the labor force. Right. And that's our job. That's our job, to make sure that when these young guys come on these sites, they are held to a standard that they want to keep working. And just remember, too, whether you get involved with us or not, you can always do something for your community. Remember, you need to be able to be proactive. You're a part of this thing. We're all a family. We hope to see you guys next week for our next episode. We enjoyed your time this evening. Well, thank you very much, and we'll see you next week. Always wrapping up. Man, I need an hour show. Don't worry about it. We'll catch you with an hour. Thank you very much for tuning in.